Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzma from Commercial Rare Coins in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea for our Monday, December 28th gold and silver and platinum precious metals update. Well, let's take a look here and get into some news first before we go into precious metals prices, which are up higher today. I found this saying right here by Milton Friedman. Haven't read a lot of Milton Friedman, but obviously and apparently one of our brightest economists in our country in many generations, and he said a lot of smart things, but this one really got me. I think the government solution to a problem is usually as bad as a problem, and very often makes the problem worse. And he's absolutely correct about that. He's got quite a few other good quotes that if you get a chance, just type in Milton Friedman and read some of his stuff. A very fascinating man, very intelligent man. He probably foretold all this stuff before it even happened, in my opinion. The dollar's demise and the boom of 2021. And I'm sure Milton talked about that as well. And actually, there's a quote here from Milton Friedman as well that says, inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon, in the sense that it cannot occur without a more rapid increase of the quantity of money than in output. And that's exactly what we've got going on here. We've got endless printing of money. Now you've got Trump signed off on this CARE Act. So we've got trillions and billions and billions, trillions. I don't even know how much. Trillions and billions. Why have trillions when you can have billions? So I don't even know anymore. It's just an insane amount of money that they're printing out there. And there was let me take a look down here. Where is that little article down here? The key reason for the inflation no-show was a collapse in velocity. Here we go. And this is why we haven't seen inflation out here, because the money is actually going into places, and I like this explanation here. The key reason for the inflation no-show over all these years, where we've actually had a bit of deflation, if you notice, everyone was talking after 2008 that the Fed printing all this money would create like hyperinflation and major inflation. And I think it hasn't, but the mistake was believing that it would not. Because it obviously will. It just took a lot longer than we thought. This money is finding places to go. And that's exactly what bad money does. Bad money gets driven out of the economy and ends up going someplace good eventually. So the key reason for the inflation no-show was a collapse in velocity, as I argued back in 2000 and 2008 and 2009. In other words, the velocity or circulation rate of the money in the system crashed, more than offsetting the Fed's relentless binge printing. Of course, we now know, and pretty well did at the time, that the excess trillions made their way into asset prices of all type. And this is interesting. In recent years, that has included cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So, this can explain the rise of commodities. Whenever you get an inflationary environment, or you get huge money printing with the fiat currency is just out of control, they just keep printing it, making it cheaper and cheaper. Usually that goes into commodities first. Commodities is where you start to see that money flow into, because again, the bad money or the good money will push out the bad money, which means that people will take fiat currencies and buy things with it they think has value, whether that's art, whether that's gold, whether that's Bitcoin. And I think we're starting to see that now, and I think we're going to start to see that more and more as time goes on here in the near future, because again, we have no fiscally responsible people in Washington, D.C., nor really globally anymore. Most all the officials and government officials and politicians don't even know what the word fiscally responsible means. So they're just full auto money printing right now. And that's exactly what you're seeing, full auto money printing. And of course, that money's got to make it to somewhere. And again, I love this little statement. In recent years, that has included crypto coins or cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So this bad money will eventually get turned into some kind of assets because people are getting it. They're understanding what's going to happen. And I think we're just beginning to see the beginning of that inflation that's coming up here. And good article. Let me point out who wrote it. It's authored by Charles Gay via Evergreen I can't even pronounce that. Gavaco blog. There you go. Evergreen Gavaco. The boom of 2021. Just type that in right there. Remember, Zero Hedge is kind of like a hub. Just because you see it doesn't mean they wrote it. And as you can see, I linked to the actual writer of the article, so to give him some creds. Good article. I'd recommend reading it as well. And let me move on to the next article. Gold, the other Santa Claus rally. Well, we talked about last week how gold. Remember, I showed you the article that said that gold has been up for the last 10 years as far as the price of during the holidays, like Christmas and stuff. And that has generally been true since 2016, as I was observing. But it kind of goes back to the Santa Claus rally, as they call it here. It goes back quite a ways. Take a look at this. 1999. The rally was negative 4%, but overall, it looks like from 1999 to date, gold has said, Christmas likes gold, apparently. I went back and looked. I said, I don't think it's been like that every year, but apparently a majority of the years during Christmas, we've had a good rally in precious metals, except for, and I should have looked back further. Remember I told you I didn't think it was 10 years. I stopped at 15 and 14. Didn't look back at 13, 12, but apparently in the last 10 years, 15 and 16 did not have those results. And I kind of remember that as well, so I didn't think it was a blemish-free record of constant ups during Christmas for the last 10 years, much less since 1999. But I am surprised that the majority of Christmas holidays has been very good to gold. So anyway, kind of interesting little tidbit. On to digital currencies. China, actually, not many people know this, but I've said over and over and over, central banks and governments hate competition. Cryptocurrencies are competition. China, a long time ago, not even a long time ago, I don't even know when, I think a couple years ago, outlawed cryptocurrencies completely. They're not legal in China. And eventually I think that that's going to happen in the United States, Europe, and everywhere. And if it is not just outlawed completely, and I think I think, for example, like Bitcoin's got its foot in the door a little too much in Europe and the United States, and a little, too many people are familiar with it, that I don't think that Europe nor the United States will outlaw Bitcoin, the private coins. I don't think they will outlaw it, but I think they will heavily regulate it right out of existence, or heavily regulate it into their realm, what they want it to do. They will control it. So that's what, to my opinion, is going to happen to Bitcoin. And like what you're seeing here, China will be the first country to launch a digital currency. So what China did is says, okay, we love the idea, we think it's great, but we have no control over it. So we are going to make Bitcoin illegal here in China, and we're going to create our own. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Why? It's all about the C word, control. They want control. And that's what all governments want, and all bankers want. They want control, and they can't have that with a private crypto. So again, they will either outlaw it like China did, or they will heavily regulate it. Little blurb here: China may be the first major country to launch a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. So anyway, it's showing exactly what I think is going to happen in the United States, that the Fed is going to launch, if they haven't already. I think they actually started a Fed coin. I'm not sure where they're at with it, but the United States will issue their own Bitcoins. They'll take a cue from China, and then they'll see how much control they can have by doing that. So why would they want Bitcoin where they have no control? They want all the control they can. For example, if you owe the government money, taxes, you don't even have to send them a check anymore. They'll just debit your Bitcoin account, or your Fed coin account, or your China coin account. But again, they can't debit your Bitcoin account. That's why they're going to hate it. They're going to love the technology. They're going to adopt it. They're going to steal the technology, and they're going to regulate the hell out of all the private companies like Bitcoin. Not companies, but the private coins like Bitcoin. And again, mark my words for it, I'd make a small wager on this. Actually, I just make a wager, period. So let's move along here to what I think is going to happen here too. Bitcoin itself is just, man, it's $25,000, $30,000 right now. And again, it's explainable with all the trillions of dollars that are being printed out there. Or not really printed, just created in thin air, zeros and ones, which is what Bitcoin really is. It's just a 0 and 1. But the banks all over the world have just pumped out so much money in the form of currency and in the form of zeros and ones, digital currency, digital dollars, that they have control over. So no wonder Bitcoin is benefiting from that, as are all other commodities across the board. So at what point, though, is it a bubble? And I think probably we're nearing that point with Bitcoin here pretty soon. I'm thinking that that could be the beginning of major regulation too, is if it gets into huger bubble territory there than it is right now, collapses, and all of a sudden some senator's grandmother loses their entire net wealth, or some congressman's nephew and his family gets broke by this, then here comes the regulation, in my opinion. But at what point do you think Bitcoin is a bubble? Please make your comments below. I'd sure like to see it. I think we're in bubble territory already at this nearing 30,000 mark, how rapidly it's advanced. However, again, with the amount of money printing going on, never underestimate that. At what point do you think Bitcoin is a bubble? 50,000, 25,000? Do you think it was a bubble at 10,000? Please put it in your comments below and why you think so. I'd really like to read some opinions here. So let's move along here because I don't want to keep this report too long. Gold and silver are up, kind of expected a little bit. I haven't seen any monkey hammering yet. However, we still have the rest of the week up until the New Year's on Friday. So let's see what happens. I think markets are closed on New Year's, but we could still see some monkey hammering. However, overall, that just provides you a good opportunity to buy the dips. And again, I like this with gold and silver. I like these steady increases. We are certainly not in bubble territory, or never even been close to bubble territory yet in gold. I'm sure we'll get there at some point when this money just starts flying into this market. Meanwhile, we are not. It's the nice steady as she goes movement that I like here, that I've been watching with precious metals over the last decade or so. Nothing crazy since 2011-12 when we were in a bubble at that point. So I like this. I think this is great. It's secure. It feels secure. And what are we looking at? 1895.73 right now. Let's take a look at the ranges. 1871. It did touch 1900. So we have touched the 1900 before the end of the year, although it hasn't closed at this level. I'd be curious to see. I wonder if it does close above 1900 this week. That would be kind of interesting to end the year at 1900. But it wouldn't matter really anyway. We're going to be there next year and well above it at some point. Silver just kind of getting crazy there, nearing that $27 mark. Gotta love that. Up 83 cents. Look at that range, 26 to 26.79. So basically an 80-cent range there, 83 cents as you can see. And platinum holding on to that $1,000 plus mark, which I like. It seemed like it decoupled. I really can't tell where platinum gets its direction from. But it's just doing what it's doing, and I still think it's an underpriced metal in my opinion. And as far as palladium, never get asked about it. Who cares? So that's really about it. What's the best deals out there? Well, what do I think going to happen this week? I think we're going to see, this steady kind of increase is very interesting. So, perhaps we will see it close above 1900 this week. However, slow holiday trading always scares me. During the holidays when trading is really quiet, that's when the big whales and the manipulators come in and monkey hammer markets. So that could still happen this week. However, again, if it did, it would just provide a buying opportunity, and most places will probably be closed, so you can't buy gold and silver anyways. Sorry about that. We'll be closed on New Year's. And that's really about it. Let's see what happens. And best deals out there are still Krugerrands. If you want to buy coins, please buy local. As you know, I like to say buy local all the time. Keeps the money local. And silver, the best deal out there is still 90%. Silver Eagles are way overpriced, folks. Why are you buying Silver Eagles at 4? I mean, I got tons of them. I shouldn't be saying that because I'm never going to sell them. But it's true. Silver Eagles are way overpriced, folks. If you're paying $4, $3, whatever it is, 3 and change, 4 and change over for Silver Eagles, it's ridiculous. And give me a call and I'll tell you why it's ridiculous. If you're buying Silver Eagles, not a smart move. And again, call me anytime at my store at 954-493-8811 between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. And I'll tell you why buying Silver Eagles is a terrible product. It's a terrible thing to buy. And the premiums are just insane. And again, I'll explain that to you if you give me a call. We're here 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. And come on in anytime. Happy to see you. And that's it. Let's see what happens tomorrow and have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.